Hey guys, Tarnish here. Today I want to go over Holy Paladin Legendaries for Shadowlands. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. Now let's get right into it. The first legendaries I'm going to go over are the general legendaries that all three specs can use without any issue or limitation. So the Mad Paragon affects your Hammer of Wrath, increasing the damage by 30%. It also extends your Crusade, Avenging Crusade and Avenging Wrath by 1 second. Deals 25 additional damage. The slot is the Wasted Feet. I don't believe Holy Paladin will be using this one. It just 1 second is basically a GCD, so you're not gonna really increase your HPS by that much by using this. It might increase your damage though. The Magistrate's Judgment affects your judgment. It affects Holy by 60%, Protection by 45%, and Retribution by 75%. And what it's doing is essentially has a 6% chance to reduce the cost of the next Holy Power spender by 1. The slot is a waist and finger, or I'm sorry, wrist and finger. This one I don't think we'll see too much use from. It's okay. It's not a bad one, but it's very okay. It's meh. Dusk of Dawn, however, seems like a very strong one. So what Dusk of Dawn does is when you reach 5 Holy Power, you gain Blessing of Dawn. When you have 0 Holy Power, you gain Blessing of Dusk. So Blessing of Dawn increases your healing by 5% for 8 seconds and reduces the damage you take in with Blessing of Dusk by 3% for 8 seconds. So it has a nice little synergy to using Holy Power and getting a nice little steroid out of it. The slot is Head and Shoulders. Uther's Devotion. So Uther's Devotion is going to affect all your blessings, and what it's doing is reducing the cooldown by 1 per holy power spent. So a nice little niche legendary to get your blessing of freedom off cooldown because it's only a 25-second cooldown, and every holy power you spend will reducing it by each second for each holy power. So spending a normal generator is 3, so 3 seconds every time you use a Word of Glory, Light of Dawn, something along those lines. So having freedom up a lot is pretty useful in a situation where someone's trying to cut you or slow you down. Um, Blessing of Sacrifice is obviously a really strong defensive that we use. External cooldown for someone else. Uh, it's a 2 minute cooldown, so 3 seconds. I mean, it really depends what your average holy power spending per minute would be. Would really how you'd break this down is figure out how good it is, and this would be more likely a PvP thing, not a PvE thing. So our first holy paladin legendary is going to it's called Inflorescence of the Sunwell. What this is going to do is increase your infusion of light procs by 1. So you basically have 2 charges of infusion of light. So if you're going to try and go for some kind of caster build where you're actually using your infusion procs more consistently, this legendary would be very big for you. It also increases the effects of infusion of light by 20%. So obviously that's going to be really huge for your holy light. Your holy light is going to heal for a lot more if you use this legendary, and or your flashlight will obviously be faster. The slot is for the feet or the back. The slots are important because you need to know if they're overlapping with a slot, so you kind of have an idea of how you're going to optimize your gear. Rada's Dying Breath. So this goes off of this is returning, right? We had this in Legion. So in Legion, we use this similar effect. Let me tell you what it does. I know some of you guys did not play Legion, or some of you may have not played Legion. So Murata's Dying Breath, healing with Light of Dawn causes your next Light of the Martyr to also heal your Beacon of Light. Good thing. Each ally healed by Light of Dawn increases the Light of Martyr healing by 10%. Now that's kind of a neutral thing because we know we take 50% of the damage the Light of Martyr does, healing. So where you want to maximize with this legendary is you want to make sure you're healing somebody, ideally when the tank is hurt, so that you're getting bonus healing to the tank plus the healing to the target. However, when I tell you guys to use Light of Martyr, I always tell you guys to consider Light of the Martyr as you're giving them your HP. So it's a little bit of a weird how you want to look at that. Just be careful with using Light of the Martyr. Like I said, you're taking half of that as damage. So In Legion, I used to try and one-shot myself with it. I never got that high. I think I got to like 60 to 80% with some steroids, is how much HP I could chunk off of myself. Obviously, it's a huge heal. However, hurt the hell out of yourself, right? So, so what we see gameplay with usage with this. So there are two pros and cons, right? The pros are it helps your single target healing. If you're, so is there a situation where you need a lot of single target healing to burst targets up? Marauder's Dying Breath could really help, right? But majority of the time, I think it's a hindrance over actually benefiting your HPS. So it's a good legendary for niche situations. So that may be a specific fight you may want to use it for. Besides that, it's typically a bad legendary to go to. So it's cool they brought it back. However, as a Holy Paladin player, I'm a little disappointed because I never liked it. I never was a big fan of Light of the Martyr use in general or at all. Obviously, I used it. There's also situations you can use to cheese Light of the Martyr a little bit. However, Light of the Martyr in general is just not a good spell to use. Shadowbreaker, Dawn of the Sun. This is obviously a really strong Paladin effect. This came, well, this partially came from Legion. They mix a few things together here, and it's actually a really strong legendary. I think we will be using this one, just because of how it affects your mastery. So what it's going to do is increases the range of your Light of Dawn by 40 yards. We've seen that before, right, in BFA and Legion. All allies within your Light of Dawn will benefit from mastery. Lightbringer has as though they were within 10 yards for 6 seconds. So for every target hit by your Light of Dawn, they will then be affected as if you were within 10 yards of them. So if you healed them with this 40 yards away, your mastery is going to scale them as if you're 10 yards. That is very strong. It's only 6 second. It only lasts 6 seconds, so you really have to use it and then know you're going to hit them with something else behind it. Otherwise, it kind of falls off, right? You only have 6 seconds to use it. So you could probably get a cast of something off on somebody. You could, it just depends what you're trying to do. So if you want to use this in synergy with the Inflorescence one, this could really work out because you light it dawn and hit them with a really hard light of Holy Light. That could really help out. I'm actually curious to see how this affects the rule of law, but we'll have to see. The other effect that it has is your Ward of Glory receives a 50% increased benefit from your mastery. So it just buffed the heck out of Ward of Glory. So the ideal steroid with just this legendary would be hit him with a Light of Dawn, with your Holy Avenger up, and then you're gonna turn around and you're gonna hit him with a Ward of Glory after you Holy Shock somebody, just so that you can get that instant off, and that's gonna be 50% effect by mastery. So that's gonna make it heal for a lot. It's a lot of burst healing potential right there. Very strong synergy with honestly almost any legendary. You can increase HPS, increase mastery. That is huge. So very strong legendary. We're probably gonna use this legendary. That's going to be a shoulder or hand slot. So, like I said, there's a high potential chance we're going to use this legendary. Just really strong right now. Obviously, keep your eyes open for any nerfs or changes. Shock barrier. So shock barrier was really, really strong. I knew they were going to nerf this right away. What shock barrier does is on 3 targets now, it used to be a lot of targets, down to 3 targets now, your Holy Shock will shield the target for 20% of the Holy Shock healing for 6 seconds. So strong, because as we know from prior expansions, absorbs are OP. So absorbs are just free healing and damage mitigation. Helps you survive an accidental mistake, or buffers incoming damage. So it's just a really strong legendary to have to give someone a shield. The slots will be legs and feet for that one. Now, there's only one more legendary I want to go over that could see some play from Holy Paladin. This was previously our strongest legendary until they started buffing and changing others. So one of our strongest legendaries was Spinning Holy Power. This is the Relentless Inquisitor. It's a Retribution one. Spinning Holy Power grants you 1% haste per finisher for 12 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. So that's 6% haste you're just getting, and you can essentially keep it up. And the slot is legs and back. This was BFA Azerite power. They just brought it back. Now, this is obviously really powerful for Holy because it gives us that fat haste to help benefit our Crusader Strike usage. Reduces our judgment. Everything that scales off of haste is obviously going to affect by 6% from this legendary. It's just a really good legendary for damage output. And it's kind of neutral because it will increase our HPS as well. So those are the legendaries that Holy has that we're looking at right now. Currently, there are no protection ones that really affect us too much, so I'm not even going to go into those. I did want to go over real quick the synergies and the ones I think are going to be used. So the number one legendary I think it's going to be used is a Shadowbreaker Dawn of Sun. I think Shock Barrier is probably our second strongest. Of Dusk and Dawn is probably our third. Efflorescence of the Sunwell and I believe this red one, Relentless Inquisitor, are towards the bottom there. I think they have their situational ones. I think if you want to go more of a caster Holy Paladin, I think this Efflorescence of the Sunwell and Shadowbreaker Dawn of the Sun is also a good combination, as well as Efflorescence of Sun with Dusk of Dawn. I think they have a good potential of having high output. You max out your holy power and then cast a really strong holy light on somebody, you just bursted healing them a lot. So you get a 20% increase on holy light. That holy light already is strong if you have an infusion of light proc, combined with max out your holy power and getting that 5% healing burst. That's a lot of burst healing you're adding to your holy light, which is already a really strong heal. So something to think about. Also, the same synergies here with Ward of Glory, healing 50% by your mastery with this one, combined with the Dusk of Dawn 5% burst healing. That is going to cause a lot of burst healing with all the steroids stacking together. In Legion, how the best paladins were doing it is we were getting all our steroids, stacking them all up, and burst healing the raid. Now, one of the things we had in Legion that we don't have now is the really, really strong aura of sacrifice, which scaled off of effective healing. So if we had Aura of Sacrifice combined with all these steroids, we would be King Kong in Raid. We would be the strongest by far. Now, since Aura of Sacrifice is gone, we have Devotion Aura. These steroids are nice to see coming back. However, the hard part to see is to see how everything comes together as a whole at the end. We can finally get the Shadowlands, which is in 3 weeks from this video. I hope that they get it all squared away so Holy Paladins are used. And are strong and fun to play with. Right now, looking at the legendaries, we've got a few steroids here and things that synergize. And obviously, there's a couple legendaries. Looks like they can go for 2 different builds. So if you want to be a ranged Holy Paladin, looks like there's a chance where there's a really fun, interesting way of playing. And it also looks like if you want to stick to the traditional Crusader Strike heavy, your HPS could benefit from that as well, especially a lot of the Holy Power spending and maxing out. This could really benefit both specs. Anyways, guys, I hope this helped you guys. If it did, again, please subscribe. I am right now eager and hungry for those subscribers, so it really does help. Thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This was Tarnish out.